Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Good morning, everybody. It's another battle from 26 October, this time back with my 8.7 Soviet lineup, still grinding away for my BMP-1 here. And we got a battle on Eastern Europe, which generally bodes well. Domination battle on Eastern Europe. Generally bodes well. I can reliably get some battle in, if not captures, and usually lately I've been going for the B point, particularly with my T-55A, because it's not quite fast enough to make it to the A point, and there's no way it's fast enough to spawn at the south and make it to the C point before you get hit from the enemy spawn by rockets and high velocity APF SDS. So I think a lot of people, as I see from most of my battles, have sort of given up on going for the C point initially and just make that the secondary or tertiary kind of goal for the battle, is to make it over to C. A lot of people will go way south and go through the trees and try to ambush people at C, and that's fine. But the T-55A is also not fast enough to do that. The T-62 is not too bad as far as speed goes, but I still prefer to use the T-55A as much as possible, at least until I spade it. Once I get it spaded out, I'll probably make it my second spawn vehicle and drive the T-62 more. But I'm getting pretty close to finishing up the last two 1.71 Soviet vehicles that I'm interested in doing first tens for. That, of course, being the BMP-1 and the T-55A. So we got somebody on B. I put artillery in the most likely spot for them to be hiding out behind the building and capturing. You can see some smoke up there, so I'm expecting contact, although smoke does obscure them as well. And I come around the corner, and there's a Leopard. My gun just happened to come right up to his ammo, which was nice, or to his crew spot, rather. The ammo for any other nation. And managed to knock him out, thankfully, take his crew down. So there's some sort of SPAA here, but I see that two enemies have been killed. So I drive in to see if they're still alive. Turns out they are not. Put a shot into the Gepard anyway, just to make sure that he wasn't just outside the capture zone, and he was one of the two Gepards who'd been killed right there. So backed into the point to finish off the capture, even up the ticket bleed, and watch behind me. Shot to knock down some of that stone fence there, just to make sure that my gun didn't traverse across it in third person and then do the up-down dance when it sees a third-person perspective thing. So that was what that shot was for. Did the same thing with trying to break down some of that stone fence there, just in case an enemy drove through it or pulled up behind it. I didn't want to hit the fence and not have the APF SDS hit them. Finished off the cap. Our team is taking the A point up north. We've got somebody sitting on the sniper ridge looking towards C, so we're in a pretty good position here. I can hear somebody moving off to my left. I'm not sure what it is, except I'm pretty sure it's not friendly. So I move down into the C, or not into the C, but down to where I can get a good look up at the C point, and I'm somewhat obscured by these buildings here. Whatever we had up on the sniper ridge has been knocked out, so I'm trying to watch for anybody up there moving in to capture the C point. And somebody had been marked up there, so I put artillery up there. Also, if nothing else, I knocked down some of the trees up there for cover, and that hopefully gives our air forces some views down into whatever's up in the trees at sea. They start taking the A point. We've got 4 guys pretty close to it. I'm hoping that they'll all go back for it, and then I get utterly lit up by an HE-219 and his HVAPs here, which thankfully didn't start a fire, but did an awful lot of damage in the front and the turret portion of my tank. So I didn't know it was an HE-219 yet, but this is where I found out it was. When our MiG-17 just utterly ruined his day. So once we finished the repair, the enemy team has captured A. Our guys didn't get back there and take it yet, and the enemy team is now taking the C point. Someone else is marking somebody over by the by our southern spawn there, And just as I get my gun around to it, you can see that there's a KPZ-70 driving around the castle and heading into our spawn. So he's making an end-around run, and I'm watching over here to see where he comes out, hoping that he comes in a place where I can shoot him and hopefully disable him and keep him from driving. If not, kill him outright, which would of course be preferable. He appears, I try to get a shot at his turret and just hit the wrong side, and the shot deflected anyway and went up into the vision blocks. The left side is the ideal place to shoot. That's where the gunner and the commander are, and there's only 3 crew members in a KPZ and an MBT-70, so the left-hand side of the turret as it's facing you is the place to go. He took off and ran behind the rocks, and I didn't have a chance to get another shot at him, but I certainly didn't want to chance him getting counterfire at me because I didn't have enough crew members to really risk it. I probably wouldn't have been one-shot killed for a crew member kill, but if he'd hit me on the left side of my tank, he could have pretty easily done so. So I put artillery up on our sniper ridge, which is where we expected him to be. That's the closest place he'd have gone after he climbed the hill there. And then I took off to get out of the open to make sure he didn't come up onto the sniper ridge and then start taking us over. Start taking over sniping from up there and shooting us. Now I'm taking a hit in the back, and I'm just trying to go as fast as I possibly can with the T-55 to just get out of the way of whatever's shooting at me and trying to avoid all these fences, which are just going to slow me down, stop me, and leave me dead in the open. And of course I'd been marked by getting hit there, so there was a KPZ-70 just waiting for me to expose myself, and that was that. Almost came back in the T-10, decided the T-62 just for research purposes. I know there's somebody up there around our spawn. Right as I tried to switch over to a different tank, I spawned in, and of course that fired off my round as soon as I spawned, which is not exactly something you want to have happen to you in the T-62. You generally don't ever want to be reloading, much less right out of your spawn when there's a suspected KPZ-70 near your spawn. Anyway, we're holding 2 points, but we're not in a terribly good position to defend them just at the moment. They've got a pretty good hold on C. We're not really going to challenge C pretty much ever. But we're doing all right. We've got a decent amount of tanks left, and we've got to hold 2 points for the victory. We've got a pretty good ticket bleed going on them. And we've got at least 1 MiG-17 up as well. So this is not just a video about me in this battle. This is a video about our whole team and how well the whole team did. We had some really good communication going. We had guys actually talking. We had guys more or less staying in good defensive positions and trying to work with each other and actually doing a really good job of it. So you can see fire coming in on our guy up here on Darkstar who's calling for help. I'm trying to get to him to lend some assistance, and I believe that the other T-64 1971 had taken him out, but then he's still marking somebody up near A. So I'm heading up that way to help. I know that B is completely naked right now, but until they're threatening it, I'm going to go where our guys are calling things out. Now, the KPZ-70 who had killed me was heading towards the B point, but he's the one who just got killed by the T-64 1971. So I didn't know that until after watching the replay, but I marked where I thought the KPZ was, who should have been heading towards the B point after he shot me. And I'm sort of hedging my bets and going halfway in between A and B here. We've got guys all over A, so I'm more or less just going to go over to B. And then we lose a couple guys quickly, including the IT-1 who was all the way back at our spawn. So things are a little bit dangerous right here. I turned just a hair too early around that corner and skidded out into the building. But all I know now is I hear an aircraft flying overhead, and I do not want it to be able to spot me when there's only 2 of us left in the tanks right now. So I'm trying to stay under the cover of these trees here and then move myself in towards somewhere in between A and B to hold and defend. And our MiG-17 takes out a MiG-15, which is very good because that's 1 less player on their team, 1 less aircraft to spot them, and takes them down to just 2 players left in the game right now. Obviously, one of them is at B, and somebody else is in an airplane. So, again, artillery on the most likely spot, and then I'm going to push in behind him. And the other tank on my team, a T-64 1971, is also... Or actually, never mind, he's not a T-64 1971. But anyway, he's also moving in off to my right, down towards the B point. So we're converging on B to defend it. And we've got our MiG-17 cover overhead, which ended up being very useful to us. And I'm not being sarcastic. He really was actually very useful to us. He came in and made a rocket or a bomb strike. I think it's rockets. I'm not entirely sure what the MiG-17 even gets, if it gets bombs or not. I think those were rockets, though. And he ended up getting a hit on the enemy tank and pushed him out of the spawn, which was great. So he moved just outside the capture point to repair. He fires off smoke. I'm risking firing my MG to try and spot him in the smoke there. I can't see him. He takes a hit from something else. I'm capturing the B point, so now I'm kind of being cautious, although I can see where he's been hit and marked. So I'm still trying to get there. It turns out there's another house that I'm actually hitting right here. That's hard to see with the smoke. I did get a hit on him, and then I reacted a little bit late with the firing the cannon on where the machine gun hit had been. And then I backed off to reload, and the enemy team starts capturing A. My teammate has pulled in another T-55A, and he sees the guy and hits him. I think he got a hit on the guy, and the shot just penned all the way through. And I just barely hit the house there as the KPZ-70 kills our T-55A. I don't know that I would have killed him, but I think I would have if I'd have hit him. I think I just barely clipped the edge of the house, and unfortunately this map is old enough that shooting through houses is not a thing. But, as I said, the left side of the turret as you look at a KPZ-70 facing at you is the place to shoot him and take out the crew, and thankfully I got him there. If he'd have killed me, that probably would have been the end of this battle right then and there. As it is, we're in trouble now. There's two of us again. We've had a respawn on our side. Now the Dark Star there is talking about the guy that was just right behind me, the KPZ-70 that I'd killed. He wanted me to push him into the water and drown him. But I let him know that B was clear and we needed to head for A, so he didn't waste his time heading off towards the right and moving to the south towards the B point. There's definitely at least somebody near A because they just captured it again. That's our MiG calling for cover there, so there's not much I can do to help him. There are two friendly aircraft up, so they're working together up there, and I've got to work. I really can't do much to help them except maybe get a shot off at an airplane flying by, but I'm not really about to waste one of my cannon shots and a reload in the T-62 at an airplane. If it's coming straight at me or something, sure, but then come around the corner here and the Leopard happens to get a good shot into my breach, which is probably going to doom me here. Best I can do is mark him with the machine guns and hope that I can reload, or repair rather, fast enough to beat the Leopard A1A1's reload rate. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So I told Darkstar, go to the A point while I try to distract the guy and hopefully survive a whole bunch of his shots while he's shooting me, and hopefully he can make it to A and get the capture in, because I'm pretty much assuming that's the end for my T-62. And sure enough, kablooey. So I hoped I'd given him enough of a distraction. And now when I come back in my T-10M, it's a race. Can I get to the B point? Essentially what needs to happen here is I'm going to go to B and hopefully kill the guy, win the battle at B to take or retake the B point. And I'm hoping that he wins the Leopard, he kills the Leopard at A and wins the battle there, and then he can kill him and take back the A point. So I'm heading for B, hoping that he gets the Leopard one-on-one. And if he doesn't, I'm going to divert and go up to A because I know it's a Leopard up there and I'm not sure what's at B. So that's my game plan and my thinking right now is race for B, hope that he wins the fight up north. And if not, I'm going to head up there. He seems to be okay. He's not calling for help or anything, and then he finishes off the Leopard A1A1, and we've won the battle at A, so that's good. They're holding all three caps. We're in a very precarious position right now. We've got a little bit of a ticket bleed to play with, but it's not very much. And I still need to survive and get to B and capture it, and he still needs to capture A. If an airstrike comes along, that's that. And luck out of luck, a KPZ-70 comes whipping by in front of me on his way to A and does not see me at all. And I'm able to totally knock him out. Which made me feel a lot better because I'm pretty sure that's who just took B. Although still, we're in a dangerous position with the ticket bleed here, and I'm really hoping that I can race and make it into A before our tickets bleed out, because they're bleeding down pretty quickly. And we still don't even have the A point. It's still a 2-0 ticket bleed going on right now. Now it's 2-1, which slows it down a little bit, and as I thankfully drift around the corner, didn't drift too hard, watch how close this comes before I make it into A, or into B and start taking it. You can't get too much closer than that. So dropped all the smoke I could drop here, including the, I used engine smoke on the way into the B point to leave a really long smoke trail, and hopefully distract them a little bit from where I might be. And then it was a matter of just sitting here and capturing the B point. And lo and behold, I get a bunch of bombs across me. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal until it turned out it was a 190 D12. And he dropped a 1,000-kilo bomb on me. And that took me out before I could capture the B point. So normally I would just cut and go to the end of the battle, but I want you guys to see just how close this battle came. I could not believe I got killed by the D12 there. I figured the smoke was going to cover me, but he scattered his bombs just right. And I've got maybe enough points if I get an assist here, which I'm not going to get because there's nothing left in the battle that I damaged, so I know I'm done for this battle. But I decided to wait it out and see what happened, because I know there's at least one guy in an airplane on the other team, and we've got a T-64 heading up to the C point here, along with holding the A point with our T-55A. So you can't get much closer to losing than we do in this battle. And really, if we lose any tank here, it's pretty much going to be the end of things. So you can see our T-55A over there in that view there. He's holding off in between A and B. Playing it smart, we don't need to go get B right now and leave A open. With the T-64 moving up to C, the T-55 is doing exactly what he should. There's some kind of shooting going on. I didn't go back and look at the T-55A at all during the replay, or during the, not during the replay, during the end of the battle here. I just stayed on watching the T-64 to see if he was going to make it to the C point in time. You can see an enemy MiG flying over. He's probably dry and out of air-to-ground ordnance. But if he comes in and bombs out this T-64, it's probably going to be the end of the battle. Somebody still had bombs. But thankfully they dropped them a little long. So now there's at least 2 enemy aircraft up. And there are probably 3, because we know one of them is the D-12, and he dropped all of his bombs on me, and he could not have possibly gone back and reloaded in time. So something else just came over and dropped bombs, and it wasn't that MiG that was circling around. So it turned out, after we got the capture there, that was it. There was nothing left on the enemy team but air, and we pulled victory from the jaws of defeat because we were right on the cusp of losing. Excellent job by the team there. And that brought me a pretty decent research gain towards my BMP-1 as well. So, really good battle, actually. I was very pleased to win that one. I wouldn't have been terrible to lose it because it was a good fight all the way through and through from start to finish, but was still very glad we won. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I always like to have good, long, drawn-out battles like this if it's an actual fight, and this one was. So have a great day. Thank you all for stopping by and checking this one out, and we'll see you next time.